Okay, let's go ahead and jump some rank games with the mage and see what we can do today. We're back using the scholar bag once again. We do start off with a skull badge. We could take it. I'm going to. Let's grab our wooden sword as well. And do we want to craft up hero sword? I'm kind of down for it. And do we want to take another magic for dummies? I think I'm going to, because that is going to be a little bit more max life stacking for us, which is not too bad. And as for round one, maybe not the best since we only have one weapon. But with our 2 magic for dummies after 5 seconds, we're going to get 10 max life, which is going to be nice. But our opponent does have triple weapons, being a little forging hammer and an axe, and that axe is going to be doing some big damage. And unfortunately, yeah, with triple weapons like that, we just could not keep up with it. I do want to grab a broom too, and I do want to grab a wand of equilibrium also. Let's grab a garlic, let's grab the stone, let's roll once, and I do want to grab this bit of storage also. But yeah, I'm going to venture on once again with this. So now we should be able to inflict a little bit of blind along with our skull badge, which is going to be pretty darn smashing, potentially. However, we do have to take on this Spectromancer, who is going to have a little bit of damage with their power, but they only have one broom. They're being super greedy with a box of riches and a piggy bank, so we should definitely have the advantage. And amazing. Now we did get Mana Mastery, and Mana Mastery is probably one of the best skills for the mage, so I'm going to be taking that straight away. Let's take our storage, let's take extra storage, and I do want to roll. We'll take an extra set of blueberries because each magic item is going to be amazing for our Mana Mastery. I'm going to roll because I do want to try and find ourselves more wands, which we didn't get, and I kind of want to grab ourselves a Falcon Blade also. So yeah, I'm going to venture on with this. Now, this Mana Mastery is going to be going relatively fast. It's going to have a 30% chance to duplicate its mana. And if we do get over 10 mana, our wands is going to be starting to stack up our power, which is going to be a lot of damage. That is for sure. It's going to be so much damage, it's going to be kind of nuts, to be honest. However, can we beat down this Reaper with some spikes and a lot of defenses with 45 block? Hell yeah, I don't think it's going to be even close and amazing. Let's grab our gloves, let's grab our wands. I'm going to roll again. That's an early mana orb with another wands. Now, I'm actually not thinking about crafting up a staff. I'm thinking about using our mana orb, to be honest. We sell this, and we sell another one. I'd love to keep them, but we're not going to be using up our mana for max life stacking anymore. We're going to be using these to stack up our power. And you know what? We should probably have this over speeding up our blueberries as well. And yeah, I'm going to venture on once again. I could have kept our books because honestly our Mana Mastery is going to be traveling pretty fast, and having those books are going to be more magic items also. And that's 15 mana, which means our wands are going to be stacking up our power right now, which does increase our damage. Can we still keep up? Unfortunately not. So we do end up falling short. Let's grab our mana orb. Let's grab our stamina sack. I'm going to be crazy. I'm not going to craft up that staff. We could have crafted up for a lot more damage, but it would use up our mana, and I kind of want to go for big mana buff bombs with some wands to try and get an insane amount of damage with Empower, with a Falcon Blade. The problem is, are we going to be able to keep up with his opponents? Unfortunately, I don't think so. We have lots of damage, and holy moly, did we just barely bring it back, which was kind of mad. Now, I am going to grab this health pot. I'm going to grab this health pot. We could grab a box of riches as well. Right now, I do want to roll looking for a pair of gloves. I'm going to take out our skull badge. There's a blueberries, which I'm going to take. Let's roll again. And I'd love to grab our spell scroll regrow along with our goobert, but I do want to find ourselves a spirit owl companion and a pair of gloves. We can also go for cold stacking with our skull badge, which would be nice too, but I'm just going to venture on. Let's grab our owl spirit companion so we can duplicate our buffs as well. So we can get insane mana generation, get into our big mana buff bomb incredibly fast as well, which will be amazing. Alright, 20 mana, and it's not looking too bad, but can we actually win out? I definitely think so, and amazing. Now let's take our Owl Spirit Companion, and let's take this out again as we roll. I'm thinking we're going to grab Spirit Storage, we're going to roll again, we get our gloves, awesome. Which means I'm going to sell our garlic so we can craft it up. And yeah, I'm going to be venturing on with this for now. I also really want to grab this leather armor since it is on sale, although we could try to go for a goobert type situation too. Which I'm going to take the gooberts. I'm going to take the goobert, I'm not going to take the leather armor. and I'm going to venture on. We're going to get a Falcon Blade, and we're going to be increasing the speed on pretty much all our ones. With our Falcon Blade, it should be incredibly fantastic. And it's also going to use that Empower insanely awesomely as well. But can we beat down this Cat Spirit Companion? Big old Berserker. We're going to have 20% crit chance. We got lots and lots of power. We did get our big mana buff bomb, and hell yeah. Not too bad. And we do have a choice to make. And we could either go Spectromancer, which we haven't done yet, or we go Battle Mage again. Battle Mage, we can get an insane amount of buffs. We're also giving our opponents a lot of buffs. Spectromancer, on the other hand, is going to stop us from being burst down from the very beginning. And after 8 seconds, it's going to give us 50% of our buffs, which does sound amazing. Let's grab our Gooberts. Let's grab our Fanny Pack. Let's roll again. Let's grab this bit of storage also. And you know what, I'm going to venture on with this. I'm going to have our Owl Spirit Companion in this position, targeting our Mana Orb along with our 2-1 Equilibriums. Falcon Blade is going to be sitting down here. I don't really want our Broom to be targeting it either, since we're not going to have much stamina for it. So I might actually get rid of our Staff. I'm going to sell a stone to take another set of blueberries. And yeah, I'm going to venture on with this. I'm not going to put in a Broom. I think we should be in a fantastic spot with this. And we're going to go stacking mana like there's no tomorrow. And whatever our big mana buff bomb is going to give us is going to be incredibly awesome. And after that certain period of time with our Spirit Bells, we're going to get 50% of that as buffs. And we're going to go nuts. Nuts and nuts on buffs. And hell yeah, not too bad. We got a big mana pot too. Potentially grab ourselves a Ruby Egg. We can also take a Buzz called Dark Frenzy, which honestly, I'm going to take because I do want a super fast Falcon Blade. As fast as possible. Let's roll again. You're going to be mana stacking as well, which I do really, really like. So let's take another Fanny Pack. And do we sell our Staff? Am I crazy? Sell it? I think I am. And with that, I'm going to move on. So we're going to be inflicting blind on both ourselves and on our opponents. But we're going to get even more mana with our book, to be honest. And we're going to have a super fast Falcon Blade to make use of all this Empower, and also trigger Goobert insanely fast. So it's actually looking incredibly smashing, and genuinely awesome. Now we do get a double rainbow for even more chance to duplicate buffs. Because we could take it, place it in here, and then we're going to have a 40% chance to duplicate buffs. Because this already gives us 20%. As well as a 30% chance to duplicate our mana. Which I think at this point, we're probably going to take. Now we could also grab ourselves a Null Blade, which I don't necessarily want. We could also craft up a Blood Goobert, which honestly I'm kind of down for. I did want to go for a Cupcake Goobert for even more buff stacking, but I think I'm happy enough with a Blood Goobert. So I'm going to take it. Just a lot of Vampirism that we can potentially stack up also. Let's take another set of blueberries. And do we want to Spell Skull of Purity? It's going to be a lot of healing. You know, I'm going to take it. It's also going to help cleanse some of the blind we do inflict on ourselves as well. And you know what? I'm going to venture on. And we're going to see, can we get our Blood Goobert online. Now, we probably should actually switch our wand for Encyclopedia of Darkness. Potentially. But we're going to have just infinite stack and mana, to be honest. It's going to be kind of nuts. And we just need to find more mana orbs, and we have so much buffs. It's not even funny. And we craft up Blood Gooberts. We could go for second Gooberts as well. I'm not sure if I do want that. I do want to grab our storage. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking about taking it. And you know what? I'm going to take it. Let's roll again. We could grab a cap along with our Spirit Bells. We take a lot less damage. And we can also reduce our opponent's healing. I'm kind of down for it. Definitely going to be down for it. And I'm going to venture on. Now these are going to be nice little activators for Blood Goobert, especially our Skull Badge, because it is every 1.5 seconds. Which is going to be nice. But can we take on the Turtle with a Cold Mirror and a Broccoli? Because they're going to be inflicting our blind that we do inflict back on ourselves. But so far, it's not looking close whatsoever. And hell yeah. Smashing even. And we did get a Cat Spirit Companion, which is going to be 20% crit chance. Is it worth it though? Because it is so much space. To be honest, I don't think I'm going to take it. It will give us an extra second. Am I crazy not to take it? It is on sale. I do want to grab our helmet though, and I do want to craft that up into a Cap of Discomforts. And I do want to take this fanny pack also. I mean, it is on sale. Might as well take it instead of the garlic. I'm not going to place it in just yet, and I'm going to venture on with this. 20% crit chance. We could get on a Blood Goobert as well. which will be kind of nice as well. But it's not exactly what I'm going to be looking for. What I do want to find is a lot of prismatic orbs for one. Now our opponent is actually dealing some big damage to us, and unfortunately, they did smash us down. Hammer Dagger build stunning us, doing a lot of work. Unfortunately, now we did get a Cap of Discomfort, which is going to be amazing as well. Now I do actually kind of want to keep a prismatic orb, but I also want to craft up a prismatic wand as well. I'm still going to roll. We do get another Dark Frenzy, so I'm going to take that too. And I can't really put in our Cat Spirit Companion, so I'm going to venture on. So we do start off with a lot more mana, and honestly, actually just keeping our mana might be a better play. But once we do get our freaking Prismatic Wands, we're going to be turbo stacking in power like no tomorrow. And hell yeah, not too bad. I know it's not looking too bad actually. We do end up with a 40 DPS, which is not too crazy. Our opponent had 15 DPS. But a Falcon Blade, Blood Gubbards, doing quite a bit of work. And as for heals, we do end up with 44 healing per second. And as for block, not a whole lot of block. But we're about to make this crazy, potentially. We'll see, because we do got ourselves a Prismatic Wand. Now it is going to be slow. Every 7 seconds, gain 1 of every type of buff. But if you have at least 20 mana, 20 luck, or 20 regen, use 5 mana, 5 luck, or 5 regen, whatever you have most of to gain 5 in power, which is going to be nuts. Let's grab our spell called Dark. Let's grab another 7 blueberries. Let's roll again, and let's roll again. Let's grab this bit of storage. And we can finally fit our cat in as well. And we can place in our spell called Dark as well. And we are going to have to move this over here, unfortunately, so we get that extra second of invulnerability. And also, double rainbow targeting this is actually, yeah, pretty good. But I'm going to roll again. We could start inflicting some colds. We get a second mana orb, which is going to be insanely powerful for us. And yeah, we're going to move on. A second mana orb is just going to be so much more buffs. It's not going to be even more fun. Or it's not going to be funny. But we'll see how we get on. We're going to be inflicting a lot of debuffs on us. Our opponent does have a lot of cold, which is not going to be so great. We do get one big mana buff bomb. And we could still be in trouble with the amount of cold they do have on us. But the Falcon Blade is still traveling pretty fast. They have removed all our Vampirism, which means our Blood Gubbard isn't really going to do a whole lot. But our Falcon Blade is still doing big damage. Super close. One more smack from Falcon Blade. Holy moly. That was way too close for comfort. Now, speaking of crazy, how about we take another Prismatic Orb? But this time, we might not craft it up, because we kind of need our mana from the get-go. And unfortunately, we cannot grab our Mana Orb as of right now, which is not ideal. We're going to take it in the next rounds. I'm going to move on with this. This is going to be 5-10 mana. Should we actually place it in here? Yeah, that's going to be so much better. It triggers our double rainbow a little bit faster. And it's going to be 14 mana, and it has a 30% chance to duplicate as well. So we should be able to get our big mana buff bomb a little bit easier. 21 mana, so we don't have to stack it up as much. And our Prismatic Wand is going to start going turbo nuts on Empower. So yeah, I think this is actually looking crazy. Crazy insane. Now we could also try the lamp, but we do need block for that. We do get a flute, so if we do trigger block once with this, we can actually activate our lamp. Now the problem I do have is, I do want our Mana Orb, this one here, to actually sit in here, so we have a chance to duplicate those buffs as well. But it's not going to be a good trigger for Blood Gubbard, unfortunately. Because if I'm going to take our lamp, I do want to place that in here, and I'm going to take it for now. I do want to grab this flute as well. And I have no idea where we're going to place this Mana Orb. We could move our cat down a little bit and place it in here, and I think that is probably going to be a little bit better for us, to be honest. We're still going to take our flute and yank it of Ventron. So we still get a nice activator for our Blood Gubbards. We just need a tiny bit of block, and we can get our lamp, instant lamping, basically. If we find an armor, we're going to have to take it, because this Falcon Blade is going to do so much damage. It's not even going to be funny. And amazing. Even taking on this crazy hammer dagger action with Knife to meet you. Hell yeah. And we can also grab some invulnerability, but I don't necessarily actually want that. Let's take our potion bolts. Let's take our flute. And let's roll once. We do get another Owl Spirit Companion, which is going to be another 20% chance to duplicate buffs. We also got our armor, which I'm going to take in the next round. We're not going to craft up into Moon Armor because we definitely want to keep our Mana Orbs. I'm not going to take the Owl Spirit Companion for a chance to duplicate more buffs because we already have quite a bit of chance to duplicate our buffs on our mana orbs, to be honest. So I think we're okay with that. We could have taken it and tried to duplicate our Spirit Bell's buffs as well. But can we take on this Cupcake Staff? They're going to be trying to go infinite on heats, which is probably going to be insane play, to be honest. So you can turbo stack their buffs, but with our Falcon Blade doing so much damage and so much buffs, yeah, I think it's kind of crazy. Let's grab our armor. Let's grab a bit of storage. And I'd love to grab these gloves to increase the speed on our Falcon Blade, but I'm not going to. And that's something I really, really do want. And I genuinely want this incredibly bad. We are going to have to take it. How are we going to take it though? Because I do want to keep all our ones. We could sell you, but that means we're going to be stacked up with debuffs. We could sell our cat, which might be enough. Does mean we're going to lose 20% crit chance. Are we going to be happy enough with 20% crit chance less? We could start selling our blueberries. We're just a little bit short on gold. We could sell our mana pot. I'm going to sell our mana pot. I'm going to sell this too. We're going to sell one protectable purse. And we're going to sell one blueberry. And we're going to take this. And that's going to be 12 mana. And it's going to be another 14 mana. And yeah, this is going to be a fun setup. A Falcon Blade, a Jin's Lamp, Falcon Blade, Blood Goober type situation with some wands. Falcon Blade wands with a Spectromancer. Honestly, looking pretty darn good. Give us time to get our buffs online, and Mana Mastery again is going to be probably the single most important skill for the mage, in my opinion. It's just so much value. That's kind of nuts. Let's go and see if it's going to be good enough. Can we win out? Or are we going to fall short? But we'll see, because we are going to begin a big old Berserker with some healing reduction, a lot of healing reduction, and a Deeper Guardian for some damage reduction and a lot of scaling damage. But can they keep up with our buff stacking? They do negate a lot of our buffs with the Captain's Comfort, so that is something as well. As you can see, they're nullifying a lot of our buffs. But we should be able to get another big mana buff bomb, getting this incredible amount of buffs. And potentially getting 50% of that buffs with our Spirit Bells to deal even more damage. And you know what? Not even close. Just so much damage. Now we did only end with a 71 DPS, but our opponents literally has so much damage reduction during Battle Rage that our DPS would be a lot higher. But our opponent only did have 25 DPS, which is a little bit mad, but we did have damage reduction with our Spirit Bells companion as well, along with our own cap. Now as for heals, we only ended up with 17 healing per second, but again our opponent pretty much almost had 100% healing reduction. And as for block, not a whole lot of block. So overall, a pretty darn smashing build, buff stacking, wands and Falcon Blade, looking incredibly awesome, and especially a Dark Frenzied Falcon Blade for a 0.65 cooldown on that Falcon Blade. But anyways, we did survive 4 lives left, and let's go and see just how much rank points we managed to get. Plus 16, rank this up a small bit. But anyways, I'm going to leave you for now. Just want to say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, or even subscribing. And I hope to keep looking for the next one. I'll see you next time. Okay, so we're back in some round 18 builds, and we're going to see can we deal with some hammer, dagger, action. Our opponent is going to have a lot of damage reduction, a lot of heal reduction, and a lot of nullifying buffs, but I don't think it's going to be even close with a pretty strong hammer dagger build. I could be eating words, but that's massive damage, and hell yeah. And can we deal with another hammer dagger, curse dagger type situation? To be honest, we have to deal 90 damage, another 90 damage, and another 100 damage, and one more smashers, and hell yeah. Now can we deal with a Cupcake Staff Spectromancer? Look like they're going to go infinite on heats, pretty strong mage builds, but can we keep up with them? Potentially, because we're starting to deal big damage, and that was a double crit, by the way. 240 damage one hit, which is crazy.
I feel good, you look great, I like you, I can't wait. A first time, a first date, you're so fine, I'm so late. You sip wine, I drink straight, don't waste time to my place.